This is Valley News Live at noon.
New for you at noon. One man is now in jail following an accidental discharge in Grand Forks. It happened this morning around 2 when officers of the Grand Forks Police Department were dispatched to the apartment building located at 2323 South 17th Street for a report of a gunfire in the building. Authorities say further investigation determined that 24-year-old Jordan Stone accidentally fired a handgun into an occupied apartment. No one was injured, that is, and Stone was arrested and faces charges of reckless endangerment. A former West Fargo teacher will make his first court appearance this morning. Now, Ron Thompson is not in custody, but is charged with luring a minor for sex online. Police say evidence seized in the investigation shows explicit conversations and photos between Thompson and a girl he believed to be 14 years old, who's actually an undercover officer. Well, the end of the week is feeling pretty chilly, but not as bad as last week. But could we see a warm-up anytime this weekend? Let's check in with forecaster Summer Snowhawk. Hey, Summer.
Hey Brian, I unfortunately have the opposite of a warm-up for the weekend. Things are looking chilly as a cold front will move through later on tonight. But right now we are enjoying some clearing skies up in the Northern Valley. Here's a live look at our Home of Economy Skycam network in Grand Forks. But those flags have been flying since last night with breezy conditions across the valley. Here's a current look at our wind speeds, gusting to 35 miles per hour in Sisseton, sustained at 21 miles per hour. Out of the south at 12 miles an hour in Fargo, 13 miles per hour in Grand Forks, and we are currently seeing the strongest winds out across central and eastern Minnesota. Duluth, the latest gust up to 45 miles per hour, 24 miles per hour in Wadena, and 41 in Brainerd. It is a warming breeze though, and it has warmed up our temperatures into the 30s to near 40 degrees, already at 39 in Grand Forks, and we will have a major cool down as we head into our weekend. Brian, I'll have those hour-by-hour details and your full 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
We'll stay tuned with you. For a second, I saw the 40s, so I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
Thanks, Summer. Well, a crash involving a street sweeper has left one individual dead in Polk County. The call came in at around 9:45 last night. The street sweeper was traveling northbound on USTH 75th when a 19-year-old in a Chrysler PT Cruiser traveling in the opposite direction crossed the center line for an unknown reason and collided head-on with the street sweeper. The 19-year-old driver of the PT Cruiser was ejected from the vehicle and pronounced dead at the scene. The 41-year-old driver of the street sweeper was taken to Riverview Hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. Well, 2 civic suits filed against Governor Doug Burgum in the early months of the pandemic will be heard by the state Supreme Court next month. Somerset Court, a long-term care facility in Minot, filed the lawsuits last spring after their local cosmetologist was prohibited from working because of the governor's executive orders. The first case is scheduled for March 8th. It will focus on a person's right to work during a pandemic, while the other case will call into question the governor's right to issue executive orders. The proceedings will be held via Zoom, but they will be public hearings accessible on the Supreme Court's website. The former Minneapolis police officer convicted of murder in the 2017 fatal shooting of an Australian woman is asking the Minnesota Supreme Court to take his case. Mohammed Noor is seeking to have his conviction in the death of Justine Rozzik Damon overturned after a court of appeals panel upheld it. Some legal experts say the third-degree murder charge applies only when a defendant's actions put multiple people at risk, but the appellate panel said it can apply when a defendant's actions are directed at one person. Now, the issue could have implications in the upcoming trial of former Minneapolis officer Derek Chauvin, as prosecutors seek to reinstate a third-degree murder charge in the death of George Floyd. A North Dakota lawmaker is in hot water for alleged bad behavior. Lawmakers for the state legislature have documented alleged sexual harassment and threats by Republican State Rep. Luke Simmons and are looking forward to file the legislative leaders for potential action. Documents outline a pattern of alleged sexually aggressive, lewd, and threatening behavior. The information was released yesterday after an incident Tuesday at the Capitol cafeteria where Simmons accosted a pair of Democratic lawmakers over a disagreement about wearing a face mask. Lawyers claim there's a history of Simmons making comments to lawmakers reaching back as far as 2018 and that party leadership knew about it. Simmons is denying all allegations and said the events described in the document don't accurately portray what happened. Another critical point in the effort to vaccinate America, today the FDA's advisory panel was formally reviewed and vote on whether to approve Johnson & Johnson's vaccine for emergency use. If approved, the country will have a third option in the fight against COVID-19. ABC's Tom Costello reports from the facility in Baltimore where this vaccine is being produced.
Inside this Baltimore lab, workers are preparing the critical ingredients for Johnson, facing formal evaluation today by the FDA's independent outside advisory panel on whether to approve the vaccine for emergency use. Once approved, J&J hopes to ship millions of doses within days.
You guys are running 24/7, right?
We are, and we have been for quite a while.
Sean Kirk is in charge of manufacturing and technical operations at Emergent Biosolutions, which then partners with manufacturing facilities to fill vaccine vials on a massive scale. His team has been working since last summer to ramp up production.
We purify out the viral vectors, which are the active part of the vaccine. We freeze it down, we ship it out of here, and it's filled into the vials that patients are accustomed to receiving or seeing when they get a vaccine shot.
At the White House on Thursday, President Biden marked 50 million vaccines administered since he took office.
This is not a victory lap. Everything is not fixed. We have a long way to go.
As the Biden administration works to expand availability in more underserved communities.
I got Moderna, which you're getting, and I got my second one.
Vice President Harris was at a pharmacy in Southeast D.C. now administering doses.
Look at that, we're all good to go.
While in East Boston, National Guard troops are on the front lines. 45 minutes south in Brockton, Massachusetts, Cameron McIntosh received his second shot, thanks to a mobile health unit that came to the senior complex where he lives.
Once they told us it was here, that made a world of difference.
Back here at the lab, they've also been working not just on the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, but the AstraZeneca vaccine that's approved in the UK and the EU, and they are still awaiting FDA approval. I'm Tom Costello in Baltimore. Back to you.
This Saturday, Gray Media, which owns Valley News Live, is partnering with the Grand Ole Opry to help bring in donations to Feeding America. Chris Jansen and Travis Tritt are among several artists that will appear, all in an effort to help people who have been affected by various disasters so far this year. The show will air live this Saturday on both KVLY and KXJB at 8 p.m. Now, if you and your family are looking for a winter theme and fun events to check out this weekend, we have you covered. Now, throughout the weekend, you can check out the drive-through food fest, truck food fest, that was so good, I'm getting all just confused. Watch the film Fargo on the big screen and even enjoy some coffee and cocoa in the downtown Fargo area. Now, most of the events are free and providing something for everyone to do to get them out of the pandemic household mindset.
People have, been looking for things to do and places to go during this winter time. It's been kind of tough with kids at home.
All of these events do require you to wear a mask. Organizers say please stay home if you feel sick. The full list of these events can be found on valleynewslive.com. Type in Frostival. Well, make sure you tune in this weekend as the Bisons travel to take on Southern Illinois for their second game of the spring season this Saturday. The pregame show starts at 11 and kickoff is set for noon. You can catch all the action on KVLY. Well, coming up at noon, researchers say they may have a fix for all those lingering COVID symptoms. And temperatures are warming up nicely for our afternoon, and some sunshine is moving in. Forecaster Summer Snellbach has the full details up next.